Hey, it's the Riot podcast.
Weekend. I'm so glad it's Friday. Hopefully you guys had a good week and you're ready whenever you're listening to this for the day.
What are you doing this weekend?
I thought there was something. We were like responsibilities this weekend, but
yeah, I'm DJing a wedding Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
big responsibility.
It actually is. Like that's a long undertaking, the wedding DJ kind of thing. So, I still have to finish getting ready for it today.
Yeah.
I actually will build out all the playlists and everything before I get there.
Before ahead time?
Yes. Now, of course, you can make adjustments on the fly, but there's nothing to me that's more terrifying. Wow, this is not true, but it's really scary when there's 15 seconds left in a song and you're not sure what is the next song you want to play.
You have to have that planned out.
That is not a good feeling, guys.
Proper planning prevents a poor performance at the wedding for Obadiah.
Yes, thank you. Hey, in the podcast today, we talk about
Godzilla.
Actually, Godzilla is probably the main thing. Godzilla, chicken fingers.
Godzilla comes back.
Free diving.
Actually, that game, if you play that this weekend, that would be a really cool game if you could somehow manage an Obadiah plays with. But I don't know if you actually could.
I'm not sure. Here's the thing with the virtual reality streaming. It's very, very hard for me, nearly impossible for me to get myself on camera doing it. However, if we would be okay with not seeing my face, there is a built-in streaming in the Oculus that I haven't tried, and I thought about maybe trying that.
So they could still hear you, but
they
just
hear me but
wouldn't
not
see
me.
That might be good.
So
worth a try.
That might be something that would be worth checking out. But yeah, that's all I got. You guys enjoy the podcast?
Enjoy. Don't forget to join us at RadioU and RadioU Riot on our Facebook pages. It was with the Godzilla talk. We do mention Obi did a longer review that you can watch after he saw the movie. So if you want a movie review, check out RadioU or RadioU Riot on Facebook to watch it.
We don't normally do a straight up like review chat, but for Godzilla, I felt like that was so much in our space.
Yeah, you should have posted on our YouTube channel too.
Yeah, I should have.
That would have been good.
You're right. But you know what? It's fine.
Okay.
You can find it.
Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.
Is it healthy eating so many snacks, chips, and Oreos every single morning? No, of course not. But they do it for you.
Too many guys got the stomach for this line of work.
That's real love. It's The Riot on RadioU.
I wish we had a little intro. Story time with Obi.
I'm so glad to get a chance to tell you guys what I did last night.
You need to get this out.
I do, because last night I was with some friends, and one of them was having some trouble with their allergies, and I was like, and they asked for Benadryl. And I'm like, well, you know, I do have Benadryl. Like, are you sure you want to take it? You'll be asleep in 5 minutes. And like, no, it doesn't do that to me. It's fine. So I got it, and she was having a hard time getting it open. And I was like, okay, fine. So I took it into my kitchen and got out a pair of scissors and like cut it out and got it open.
Sure.
And then my phone rang, or I got a text or something. So I got the pill in my hand and I'm looking at my phone and all this stuff, and you can already see where this is going. And so then I'm standing there and I was like, I don't even have any water. And so I got a glass of water and took the Benadryl and went back into the like family room, living room thing. And they were like, did you get the
Where's the Benadryl?
And I was like, what? Didn't you get it? And I was like, oh my gosh.
You took it.
Oh my gosh. I just took it. I just took that Benadryl. I took a pill. That's how thoughtful I am. Put a pill in my hand. I'll just take it.
You went through the motions. You weren't even thinking about it.
Didn't even think about it. Just like, oh, and I had this cup of water, this empty cup, and I was like, man, I don't even have water. So like I filled a cup of water and drank the whole cup to make sure, you want at least 8 ounces to make sure the pill doesn't get stuck, and to realize the complete absent-mindedness of the motion.
Well,
I laughed forever.
It's not going to hurt you. It's just Benadryl.
It's just Benadryl, but it normally makes me crazy tired. And I just took it.
Well, you seem fine.
I just took a pill. Well, here's the weird thing. I don't know what's going on, but I've been here for a long time.
Yeah.
I woke up really early.
Ready to go.
Really early.
Maybe that was the Benadryl.
So I didn't work out. And again, I don't even know why, but I just got up and just came straight here.
Yeah.
And I've been in the kitchen with my laptop working for hours.
So are we expecting a crash sometimes later?
I guess.
Is it going to be a surprise? We just don't know today.
I have no idea. I have no idea. So, Here I am.
What do you do?
I took a pill.
You took
I
a pill.
took someone else's pill. And I mean, yes, it's an over-the-counter medicine, whatever. But it just goes to show you, if you put a pill in my hand, boom.
And you went and got a cup of water.
I
You
took
did
care
it
of
all.
that. I took care of that myself. I'm just like, well, take it, whatever. I still cannot believe that I just took it. And it makes sense. I had the medicine in my hand. I did all the work to open it. And I feel like that the problem was if I hadn't gotten the thing on the phone.
Sure, you wouldn't have been distracted.
I wouldn't have. But like when you distracted me, I was like, you know me, I'll just take all the pills.
Here I go.
Boop, take the pill.
Well, sorry about the Benadryl.
What? Who does that?
Thank goodness it wasn't anything worse.
Who just pops pills? I'm a pill popper now, guys.
Actually, probably, you're not the only one, I bet.
That's what I do. I just pop a pill. What the heck?
If it's louder than it has to be and way worse than it has any right to be, it must be the worst of the riot. On Radio U.
This new Burger King breakfast sandwich, I think, looks fantastic.
We just don't go to Burger King as much, and we don't go for their breakfast because we're stuck in this room.
And they don't open until 6 a.m.
They don't open until 6 a.m., and our show has already begun, so we usually don't go there for breakfast.
When you go to McDonald's, most of them are open all night. Not all of them, I know, but that is the only place that I can get breakfast. And, this morning when I came in here at I don't even know what time, McDonald's was there for me.
Burger King's not open yet.
They were there. I just got up, left my house, went to McDonald's, came here.
So does this look like it's basically a McGriddle thing? Or wouldn't a McGriddle have, does that count like French toast because it has the maple syrup in it? Or is that more like a pancake thing?
It's more like a pancake, really.
So the Burger King ones are more like a French toast sandwich topper and bottom.
Mm-hmm. So basically you got yourself here a French toast breakfast sandwich, and it's eggs, bread with a hint of cinnamon and vanilla.
Oh, the vanilla part. Doesn't that sound nice?
Good.
That sounds good.
That sounds good. And so you can get it with sausage, bacon, or ham.
That's one of their new sandwiches.
And apparently there's a hint of sweetness from the maple. That's what it says right there. Come on.
Well, if we're reading it, I'm sure it must be right.
Yeah, I can't imagine that Burger King would describe something incorrectly in order to sell it.
Not going to lie. Of course they're not going to. And I do like how the pictures from this article are, just you go out, you take pictures of it. Doesn't quite look 100% like the professional photos of what Burger King wants you to think it's going to look like. But it's not too bad.
I think these amateur photos... I seem pretty fair, and I think it still looks good.
They're a little flat.
Well, that's what happens when you throw it in the bag.
Yeah, you tend to get that.
I get that.
Oh, it looks good. Like I said, we don't do Burger King for breakfast too often, but looks good.
Almost never. And they do have good little doubloons.
Oh, the hash. Oh, man.
They have good hash browns.
Hash browns is where it's at.
Yeah.
If you ever go to, we don't like their daytime stuff, but White Castle, they also have good.
Yeah, come on.
They have the good little, the coins.
They got
It's
great,
like Chick-fil-A
great hash browns.
ones too. The little hash brown coins are the best.
By increasing the surface area, there's more crisp.
Yes, there is.
And we like the crisp.
Yes, we do.
So this is available at Burger King at, it says that it's participating Burger Kings.
It's everywhere.
So probably just about everywhere, but a limited time only.
Oh, no.
We better get over there.
Oh, my gosh.
I got to know.
What does it taste like?
You're listening to a morning show hosted by two people who absolutely despise getting up in the morning.
Will you give me a break one time?
The Riot, Radio U.
Here's something I don't get. I don't understand pigs as pets.
What do you mean?
People have pigs as pets.
They do.
They have a pet pig. And some people are like, they are the most gentle, loving creatures that
they're
you
very
will ever
intelligent,
see.
which is what everybody always says, but they are very intelligent.
Do you give it an IQ test?
They've done testing.
Sit it down in a room, give it a pen, and you're just like, all right.
I think it's got a very bad stigma attached to it, and so people assume it's not the brightest of animals.
Because it's a pig.
It's not the brightest animals in the pen.
Well, put some lipstick on it, and you're like, look, this pig cares about its appearance.
No, but it is a very intelligent creature.
So you think?
Yeah.
I guess.
So we'll go with that.
So you know what? That just makes the case for bacon, because obviously if I'm eating something smart, I'm getting smarter.
Jared's text message. If pigs were smart, they wouldn't be in my breakfast. Well, then nothing really is. You can't say that.
You know, with humans being kind of the dominant predator on the planet.
Even if they were incredibly intelligent, we could still take them out.
We've subjugated the piggies. And, you know, that's just it. The flip side is, you know what happens to a pig farmer?
Don't even want to hear about it.
Okay.
Don't even want to.
I'm just saying.
But with like people who have pigs as pets, isn't it true like the little baby, the little tiny teacup ones, sort of, how there's no, like a micro pig, how there's not really such a thing, and most of the time they end up growing a little bigger than you anticipate them?
That was a whole thing where there was a couple or something that bought a micro pig, and it turned out it was just a baby pig.
And it's just a giant pig.
So now they have a huge pig, and they're like, well, we do love our pig.
And we're talking like 300-400 pounds, like not just, a dog size.
So here's the weird one. Jacksonville, Florida, there was a couple that was arrested over Memorial Day for animal cruelty because they have a pet pig, and they left their pet pig in a hot car. The pig's not dead.
Oh, gosh.
The pig's not dead.
Did they smell it? Or when do they start smelling like bacon? Isn't that awful?
You open the door and you're like, oh, my gosh, you smell delicious.
What's in your car?
Oh, my gosh.
No, but you shouldn't. Just like with your dogs, you're not supposed to leave anything in the car, okay? Anything.
I get it. But, okay, the police stop. They free the pig.
Yeah.
And then they arrest him for animal cruelty. But, like, what? You're just walking past a car and you're like, hey, Floyd, you see what I see?
Is that a pig?
I sure do. There's a pig back there.
Well, I'm glad someone called and they got the pig out.
They did. But, like, I just want to be there for that moment when they're like, I can't believe somebody would leave a pig in this hot car. And there's a pig in there, Floyd. We got to save him.
They didn't even crack the window.
They did. The windows were cracked. But they said it was still too hot.
Still too hot for the pig.
Hot for the pig. And the pig was so smart that it had actually made a couple of phone calls and
Stop it.
had written an essay about the
pig
cruel
can
mistreatment.
only do so much with what it has. All right? It doesn't have a phone.
I feel like that's what we say about me before I go on camera. You know what? He can only do so much with what he has, but you know what? Do the best you can with what you have, though. I mean, we know it's not going to be as good as other people, but do your best.
Let's see. Thank you, Carl, for texting. They're the most delicious pet ever. And Jeff said pigs don't have sweat glands. Thank you for texting as well.
He probably wasn't even sweating. He doesn't even look hot.
That's the most dangerous, isn't it? Then he can't cool down. He's supposed to sweat.
No, but he can't. So he sticks his tongue out, rolls around in the mud.
In the car. That's why it was especially dangerous. Don't put, okay, now we're just teaching every day, aren't we? Don't put little people. Don't put big people. Don't put dogs, cats, pigs. Don't put any of those in the car unattended during hot days.
And I would like to add any kind of chocolate to that list.
Oh, my gosh, yes. Or like crayons.
Yeah,
I did that once when baby Nikki was around. And they melted in the car, and I never heard the end of it.
So there you go. Like, I really feel like we learned a lot.
We have, especially the chocolate, too. Very hot days.
They even make morning people want to reach for the snooze button. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
I did it, Nikki. I did it.
You saw Godzilla.
Last night, I saw Big G on the big screen. Godzilla, King of Monsters.
You've been waiting a long time since the last Godzilla movie.
5 years since the last one. And you know what? I had a good time.
Did you?
I did.
I was just wanting you to enjoy it.
I did. I enjoyed it. I wasn't super hyped going into it, but as soon as the lights went down, and I was like, man, this is a freaking Godzilla movie.
With all the monsters.
Yes! Yes!
This is made for you.
Yes! And you know what? Okay, let's get real about the movie quickly. It has moments that struggle a little bit.
Well, of course, with anything.
And it really comes down to the first Godzilla felt more like a character piece. Like, it's still an action movie, but they give you a lot of human drama. The human drama is there, but man, there's a couple of scenes where... Actually, if you want to see my whole review, you can find it on our Facebook page at RadioU. But they make these hilarious leaps in logic. Did you ever see Independence Day, like the old one, where they know almost nothing about the alien technology, but they figure out that it's a countdown, and they figure out how to write a virus that's going to fit, like, all this stuff, and you're like, okay, whatever. This movie has moments like that.
Movie magic, where they just jump.
Where they make a guess, and every guess they make is right.
Yeah.
And you're just like, well, I mean, I know that's how the movie works, but you guys could have at least, like, had a little more build-up. Because right in the middle of the movie, there are just a couple of things that they just jump to these enormous conclusions where you're like,
But if it took longer, which is what everybody complained about the previous Godzilla movie, that it was so slow and it took forever, they just were trying to combat that.
Now, that's my complaint about the movie, but it's minor. Because the rest of it, I'm just like, yes!
Does it look good?
It looks amazing.
Yeah.
It looks amazing.
How does Godzilla look?
He looks, you know what? He looks ripped. He looks strong. I
People
feel
thought
like
he was too soft looking last one, like he's too cuddly.
Let me tell you what. Ain't no cuddle here.
Okay.
This guy's here to kick some butt and take some names. You know what I'm saying? I loved it. I thought their ideas about, like, their world building stuff was interesting. It was different. I loved the whole, like, all the fighting. There's a bunch of it. There's a bunch of monsters in this movie, which is great. A lot of them are classics. And here was the thing that I loved. Okay. If you're a Godzilla fan, and I realize that that's two of you, and then there's everybody else that might go. But as a fan of the Japanese stuff, they have just little things that they don't dwell on them, whatever. They're just there. That if you're a longtime Godzilla fan, you'll freaking love.
Kind of a nod to that.
Yes, and some of them it's literally like a word. Like they'll use a word, and most of you aren't even going to know and aren't going to care. But as an old school Godzilla fan, you're just like, yes, right.
The
nice.
Respect is there.
Yeah, oh, totally.
That's good.
And the other thing I love that is not present in the first movie that I remember is they use some of the, I mean, it's, remade or whatever, but they use some of the Japanese music cues. So you hear
this one?
Godzilla's theme song.
Yeah.
You also hear Mothra's theme song. Not prepared for that.
You don't have
Got so excited. I was just like, oh, they're doing it.
Oh, gosh. This is perfect for you.
But I mean, just to be clear, in the theater, I was like, mm-hmm.
No one could tell the inner excitement.
On the inside, I was just like, dude, what's up?
Well, I'm glad you liked it. Going in, the reviews and the little tomato score were not the best, but that was coming from critics, and critics don't always like that stuff.
The only thing I can say is I just don't know if normal people would like it. That's the thing I kept trying to think. It's like, okay, you're somebody that just goes to the movies. It's fun. You see what's new this weekend. Do you walk into this movie and like it? I just don't know. I couldn't tell. I'm too connected to the material.
You're too into it, yeah.
Because I already knew going into it, even if it wasn't good, I'd still end up to some extent liking it. And I liked it way more than I should have probably, but I had a blast. And I think this is so sad. I didn't go see Avengers again. I'm absolutely going to this movie.
You are?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm glad you like it. It'd be so disappointing if you were disappointed in it, because, again, this is made for you.
Yeah, I just had a great time with it. So, again, I don't know. Do the normies... You'll
find out after this
weekend. Would you guys
weekend.
like it? I don't know. But, man, I sure did.
What movie do you want to see? Well, I guess we have to see Godzilla. Do you like it then?
I hope you do. I did.
Where do you go when you need someone to listen to your problems and give you a big hug? Not here. Obviously. This is The Riot on Radio U.
I went to a graduation party over the weekend. Good times, right? They had lots of cupcakes of like differing sizes and flavors. Mm-hmm. I tried several of them. And then when no one else was looking, I tried some more.
Then you got to take a couple home.
I didn't, but I sure thought about it.
It'd be rude to not try as many as possible.
I went to another grad party, and they had those cake balls, where it's like a little ball of cake, but it's been like dipped in chocolate or what it was. But it was a cake pop with no
stick?
No stick, basically. Man, I left and I was like, I kind of want to go back and just get like one more.
You just go and pretend like, I wanted to give you one more hug as the graduate.
We're going to miss you so much.
And I want more of the cake.
Oh my gosh.
Just can't leave yet.
But one of the parties I went to had canes.
Oh, for chicken fingers?
That's chicken fingers. And let me tell you, that's a great thing. I love Cane's chicken fingers.
It's nice when you go to a party.
So delicious.
And the catering really matches your style.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's like, I'm glad I went. You might not have wanted to go in the beginning, but you're glad you went.
Just a side note, Nikki. Brooke just texted in and said, just throw $1 at the radio.
Brooke, how generous.
Thanks,
Thank you, Brooke. Wait. We got it.
$1 is approximately the price of a chicken finger, so
Yes.
that's fantastic. Now, Maple Grove, Minnesota, it is the time for grad parties, and there were 2 high school seniors, Taylor and Jimmy, that were going to be having a joint graduation party this weekend. They showed up at Cane's Chicken Fingers in Minnesota to grab their catered chicken.
Their party tray.
600 pieces.
Of chicken? Mm-hmm. Oh, boy. What does that cost you?
A little under $600.
Whoa.
Like, that's not an inexpensive thing, I can tell you right now.
That's quite a hefty order.
You know that it is.
And it must not have gone right. Or are we just talking about how expensive it is? Or did something go wrong? So that's why it's news.
Well.
Something went wrong.
When he showed up, the dad showed up to pick up the chicken. They didn't have it. Someone came in and had already picked it up, and they had already paid for it.
So what do you mean?
Somehow managed to steal 600 chicken fingers.
Oh, I got you. You mean the person who placed the order, he had already paid for it then? Oh, I thought you meant the person who grabbed the chicken paid for it. I was like, well, I mean, then we've lost out. But
No. The people that ordered it paid in advance, and the person that picked it up.
Oh, that doesn't work. Guess who gets their money back still? Because guess who's having a big discussion?
Well, here the manager's just like, what are you talking about? Oh my gosh, blah blah blah. So you can't do 600 chicken fingers in an hour apparently. But here's what he did, and you got to give him credit. This is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like he's like, all right, I can give you 200 now and 400 in like an hour and a half.
Man, they're really going through that chicken.
Yeah. So what he ended up doing was that. So the manager was like, we're going to get started right away. So they gave them 200, which they took to the grad party. And then the manager drove the other 400 out to them.
That's nice.
An hour later. So the grad party was saved and the chicken was eaten.
First off, it feels like an inside job because who would know to go in to get the chicken fingers?
Oh, so you're saying somebody knew about the party, but,
I mean, you go in,
it.
they'd have to have a name or something for the pickup. They usually check something like that.
Maybe.
Feels like an inside job. And then second, so did you give them like free sauce and all that stuff? Because normally Cane's is a bit...
They are stingy with the sauce,
stingy
aren't
with
they?
the sauce. I feel like there needs to be something else for the trouble.
Well, it's 29 cents. We can't just give it away.
That or some sort of discount or a coupon towards a future 600-piece chicken order.
I don't know the answer to that, but this I do know. They got their chicken. And you know what? As someone that has catered Cane's to a party before, what happens is you put the Cane's out and people grab like 6 or 7 chicken fingers right off the bat. So having it delivered in waves, not necessarily the worst thing.
Not bad.
Because if you'd started with 600 chicken fingers, they would have been gone in an hour. So the 200 were probably gone in an hour. And the 400, if you showed up late to the party, you actually got some chicken.
It slowed you eating.
Oh,
it slowed your eating down.
Because believe me, people will put that stuff away.
Everything you love about the Riot, plus a handy-dandy fast-forward option. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
So, Nikki, I've been to the movies twice in 2 weeks, and each time I visited the snack bar.
Did you?
Which means that I'm violating some key rules of my existence, such as never go to the snack bar at the movies.
No, but that's part of the fun to me. I mean, you feel like you're really being bad if you're going to go get the popcorn.
So I did popcorn last week when I saw Aladdin.
Yeah.
And I ate all of it.
Yeah.
All of it.
Well, you gotta
by myself.
Yeah, but you got to if you spent money on it.
I surprised myself by just eating over the course of the movie. Normally what happens is I buy the popcorn and then I'm like, and then
the shame washes over.
Yeah, and then I'm like, okay, I can't eat anymore. I'm such a bad person.
And you probably got the one where you get the refill because you thought just in case. So you go ahead and get more.
Yeah. So
did you get popcorn last night or what did you get? Did you get pretzels?
No. Oh, no. Do you know that after the botulism cheese incident, I've never had pretzels at the movies?
He got sick from,
unbelievably sick.
The cauldron of cheese that they have at movie theaters. The cheese was bad, and he got some, and then he got sick.
I ended up like, I got so sick that I called the movie theater. And you're like, and I could tell the manager thought I was like, I wanted something. Like, I wanted like free tickets or something. And I told him, I was like, look, I'm not calling because I'm mad. I'm not mad. Okay. I'm disappointed.
Which sounds a lot like mad, but it's not. I just don't want this to happen to anybody else.
I just want you to know that I came there yesterday. Right. I got this. I have been up all night, and I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
I think something's wrong with your cheese. Well, no one else complained yesterday, sir. She's like, you know what? Forget it.
Give it time because the calls are coming.
Forget I called. Nobody's called because they're all dead.
From the cheese.
I'm the only one that made it.
So you can't have movie theater cheese. All right, that's noted.
Never again. It's like, no matter how bad I want it too, because I like pretzels and cheese, but no, that was off the table. My dad and I went to see Godzilla last night, and he picked up the tab on the snacks.
Ooh, what'd you get?
I got Reese's Pieces. Mm-hmm. Reese's Pieces. Reese's Pieces.
The one things.
Those.
The peanut butter chip things.
I got those.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And they were delicious. And I ate the whole bag, which is another reason why you shouldn't get stuff at the movies. Because you're in there like, what? How come there's one left? I don't know what happened. So good. Mm-hmm. So good. And my dad's like, you bought the tickets, I'll get the stuff. I was like, great. And then we got up there, and I had like $10 in reward certificates. So he really got off easy.
Oh, he used your reward certificates for it?
Well, I put my scan. I scanned for my thing, and they're like, do you want to use your reward certificates? And it was like, hey, Dad, why don't you pay for everything? No, I'll use them.
It looks bad, so you kind of feel like you have to. That's when you should ask the guy, can I just use half of them? Do I have to use all of them?
What do you think about just whatever? I love this from Paul, who said, he texted, didn't you and your father get very sick from eating at the movie theater, bro? Yeah, Paul.
That was the cheese. That was the dip that we were talking about.
That was the botulism cheese, which that's why I can't have it anymore. I can't have it because apparently I got a real weakness for botulism.
Well, your stomach, once you get it, are you like more immune to it because you've had it, or are you susceptible to it?
I don't know.
You just have to be aware.
When I was a kid and I got bronchitis, my doctor told me I'd always have a weakness for bronchitis. Mm-hmm. But you know what? I haven't had it since then.
Well, thank you, Andy, for texting from Pennsylvania. He wanted to know how Godzilla was last night. You can check out Obadiah's full review. If you want to watch it. That's up at RadioU and RadioU Riot on our Facebook pages. He filmed one last night, so you could hear his thoughts on it.
I did. And I want to go back.
This is just the review on the snacks for the movie, not the actual movie.
Well, Nikki, snacks are important, and you got to talk about them. And if you're smart, you guys will, I'll just tell myself right now. I actually went to the grocery store and bought snacks to take with us, and I forgot them at home.
Of course you did.
I know.
Of course you did. Jared, thank you for your text. He asked himself, would Obadiah eat this food when he goes to the movie theater? It's a safety thing. He's always thinking about you and what would you do?
You know what, Jared? You're doing the right thing.
And it's a no for the cheese then.
Yeah. My life is a cautionary tale. It's a no to the hot dogs, too.
The Riot is well-versed on many different topics.
They're shy at first, but they're quite skilled at conversation.
This is The Riot on Radio U.
Yesterday, something big happened. At least it would have been big a long time ago, but these days...
Not as much.
It's kind of like, they announced the new Call of Duty yesterday.
Aw, yeah, Call of Duty used to be a big thing.
Yeah, it's still big. Like, it's not big.
And you can't go back. Like, they'll never have the heyday like it was.
Well, the reason being, when you've got Fortnite and Apex Legends that are free, and then you've got Call of Duty, which is $60, it's very hard to compete.
Well, once we started getting all these fun free games, we were like, we don't have a duty to pay for Call of Duty. It's like we don't have to keep doing that.
We don't have to, and we won't.
Yeah, we won't. We pass on it.
Yeah, that's the thing. So Call of Duty Modern Warfare is the new Call of Duty game. And you may be saying, wait a second.
I thought that title was used before.
They made 3 of those. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and then Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Yes. But this is a reboot, soft reboot, return to the beginning. We're just doing it again.
So it's just called Call of Duty?
Call of Duty Modern Warfare. That's
no
what it's
number
called.
and stuff?
No numbers. You know what, Nikki? Who needs numbers?
They don't want you to notice that and ask about that. They just wanted you to buy it.
That's exactly right. And so they say that it's an updating of the franchise, bringing it into quote-unquote even more modern settings. And it will have a campaign, which is something that last year's game did not have. And their big hook, they're saying, is that people that play Call of Duty on the PC will be able to play with people on consoles. So PC players can play with PlayStation 4 players. PC players can play with Xbox One players.
That's actually good.
It is. But the real question is,
will it work?
will people with Xbox be able to play with people with PlayStation? And the answer to that is, we don't know.
Probably not.
They haven't answered that question.
I don't know if they like that sort of thing, but when you're desperate enough, you'll do anything to make sure someone actually pays for the game.
You know, that's right. I will say, I do love the idea of, hey, I've got an Xbox and I can play with my friends on PlayStation 4. That is one of the most annoying things in the world is I have an Xbox and a PlayStation and a PC and I'm an idiot. And so like I've got some friends that are playing the Division 2 and they're all playing on the PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
So I've put all this time into playing on a different platform, and they're like, man, you got to come play the Division 2 with us. It's so great.
They start at the beginning, though.
That's exactly right.
That's not worth it.
So it's like, okay, I'll go spend $60 that I already spent to get the same game, again. Then I'll pay for the online service, and then we can all play together after I invest another 30 to 40 hours getting through the main story so that we can all play the end game together.
That's all they're asking. I don't think they're asking too much.
So, you know, I'll tell you what, I'll take this week off from work and
Get caught up,
and then we can say we'll play together and never will.
That's one of the things where Xbox and PlayStation and I guess those PC users just have to realize is for the greater good that keeps you gaming to be able to enjoy and play within the other consoles.
Oh, Nikki, it's not the users. It's the platform holders.
Wow.
Sony wants you to buy a PlayStation and play on the PlayStation.
But Sony needs to realize as gaming changes, if they even want you to care about their platform and use it at all before you just move on to something else to, you know, like your phone, that they need to give a little bit.
Well, Nikki, gas up the jet. Because it's time for you
to go to Sony.
To go to Sony?
I'll do this, guys. I'll take care of it for you. I'm a good negotiator.
I want all the top level executives and the gaming division together. It's time for a talk.
Bring in Microsoft. Let's all have one big meeting, and we just have to realize that this is something that needs to change.
Well, Microsoft says they're all for it.
Good. I'm sure. Well, they're just saying that now.
Because they're in third place.
Yeah, they're just like, please play.
Somebody!
Yeah, you're right. They're fine.
It was bad enough the first time around, but now it's worse. Don't believe us? Just keep listening. You'll find out soon enough. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
This is weird. I just got a text from Joel. He says, so you liked Godzilla better than the Dark Crystal Netflix trailer.
Did we say that?
Did we mention that?
We mentioned Dark Crystal a few weeks ago.
Right.
Which was this old TV show, wasn't it? The Muppets person?
Yeah, Jim Henson's, it's Jim Henson's studio.
But it wasn't like a Muppets thing. It was just a TV show that had had puppets. That's the word.
Well, no, it is. I think they are Muppets, marionette it's this mixture. That's where that word comes from.
Sure,
marionette puppets. I think, all these different kind of points of articulation.
But some sort of weird show, and then Netflix unveiled the trailer for their version of it
yesterday. Mm-hmm. And the part about it, Joel, that weirds me out is that I did watch the trailer yesterday.
How did he know? What did you think of it? I still haven't seen.
Did you watch the trailer?
I haven't seen the trailer for the old show. I've never seen it, and I've never seen this one, so I don't even know what it is.
Me either. I don't know what it's about.
Is it for kids or for grown-ups?
It doesn't look like it's for kids to me. It looks. I suppose it could be. It is a prequel that's supposed to take place before the movie. Haven't seen the movie. I found the trailer to be weirdly unsettling. Like there was just something about it. I think it's kind of an uncanny valley thing where you can tell that they're not real, but they look real enough to feel real. And then you look at them and you're like, ooh,
you just don't know.
Something's not right. What? Which is probably unfair. I mean, it's supposed to be fantasy and all this kind of stuff. And, it's on Netflix. I'll probably give it a peek. It looks very complicated and
I don't need anything complicated right now.
No, you know what I mean is visually complicated. Like, it just looks at one of those things where I'm like, man, how did they do all that?
So it's not like computer animation.
Well,
some of it is. Okay. And some of it is Muppet puppets.
But it looks more like the backgrounds and stuff are like that, but the foreground characters, I mean, are all like puppets, Muppets, somethings, creatures.
All right.
Don't you think it looks kind of weird?
Well, I don't know.
Something about it is unsettling to me in a way where I'm like, I don't think I can watch that.
Maybe if we grew up with the other show and knew more about it, it wouldn't be so unsettling. But at first look, yes, it's weird.
Here's a text from Jen. She says, it was a movie, one of the greatest movies of my childhood.
All right.
I don't know, Jen.
It's a bold statement.
Okay, but in fairness, it's a highly subjective statement. We don't know what Jen's childhood was like. Maybe her childhood was a parade of bad movies, and this was the one good one she got to watch.
I still feel bad. I feel like Netflix truly doesn't understand me as a watcher, and they're not giving me still as much as what I want. So this does not help with the Dark Crystal. Like, that's not for me.
You're not there?
No,
okay.
It's something. It looks something.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I hope they use that official review. I don't want to be too rude.
Review.
Yes.
Nikki's trailer review. It looks something.
I mean, you could actually, this is great. You could take home that review, put in your own words around it, okay? You could be as strong with those words as you want to be.
Chuck says, I would not say the best, but one that I will always remember.
The original one?
Yeah. So
I gave during the last fundraiser, and all I got was this crappy morning show. This is The Riot on listener-supported Radio U.
I don't entirely understand what happens in this video. There is a phone video that's making the rounds at Panama City Beach in Florida.
Yeah.
And so it's a guy that is filming a woman that's out in the water floating. She's swimming, whatever. She's in the ocean. So
he's in a hotel or like a high rise. So he's there. Everybody's up looking out their balconies over the water. And this one lady, she seems like she's somewhat of a good distance away from the shore.
Yeah.
So she's kind of broken off from any of the other swimmers.
She's out there swimming. And then they start to notice this shadow. And pretty soon it becomes apparent that she's being circled by a shark. That's terrifying.
And the shark shadow looks bigger than her.
A lot bigger. At one point, it starts swimming directly towards her and breaks off. And then you start hearing all this noise, like people are yelling for her to come in, and eventually
from other balconies and stuff too.
Yes.
Even though the guy on this balcony, they weren't yelling, I feel, early enough to, because you have to yell down to warn the people at the beach to then be able to yell to her, hey, you need to come in.
Well, here's the part I don't understand. Why was he filming her?
Because they saw the shadow.
They saw that before the camera started?
Yes, and I think that's what it said in the article.
Because when I was listening to it, I'm like, at first they're not really talking about it. It takes about 10 seconds for them to be like, oh, it looks like there's a shadow down there.
No, in the beginning, you hear them go, it's either a shark or like a stingray or something.
Okay.
So they were talking about what they thought it might actually be, because him and some other lady was on the balcony.
And again, why are you filming it? Like, what are you doing? Like, your first thought is, I think there's a shark about to eat that woman.
I know.
Turn the camera on.
Yell.
Turn
do
the
whatever
camera
you
on.
can.
We might be able to get footage of this woman being eaten by a shark. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Well, she finally hears people shouting. It finally gets down, and then she starts swimming in, and the shark goes away.
Yeah, she makes a beeline. This is why you can't get into natural bodies of water ever.
Oh, don't go out that far. Don't want to go out that
She's
far.
not out that far.
Far enough. You're supposed to stay where there's a chance that you have less options, or the shark has more options, so he's not going to hopefully get you.
That's right.
Because you got to be surrounded by people.
That's why you have a pool.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That's right. And that's why you got to be, listen, I don't want to be that guy, but 21 Pilots chlorine, okay? I only swim in chlorine. Let it wash all over me.
And then the sharks can't survive because there's so many pool chemicals.
That's right. Sharks die in chemicals. Sharks die in chemicals.
Gotta be well, if you're in Florida, though, this is in Panama Beach, you got to be aware of like alligators. They get in pools all the time.
See, that's why.
What are you going to do with that?
You don't go to California, or excuse me, you don't go to Florida. You don't go to Arizona. You don't go to Texas. And you definitely don't go to Australia.
Because there's too many things that survive the winter.
Lots of things there that, could eat you, could eat other things, like whatever. I don't want those things. I want to be where they have deer and they have like groundhogs and bunnies.
There's still other things that could be dangerous in those areas. They're just not in water.
Like what?
You could have bears.
Yeah, but you know what? Bears aren't going to bother you. Sharks are actively looking to kill everything, including humans.
They are not. You're coming in the way.
They're monsters. They are the worst creatures in the entire universe aside from snakes.
They're a very important part of our system.
Thanks, Mom.
You're supposed to respect them.
Thanks, Miss Nikki.
Yeah!
You were one of the lucky few who missed the riot when they were live. Yet here you are.
I also like to live dangerously.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Hey, did you know that Pet Sematary remake came out?
Did it come out actually? But I don't recall it. Did it do anything or not? If we didn't even know it was out.
I don't remember.
When did it come out?
April 5th.
Oh, back then?
So 2 months ago. I had no idea that movie came out. Now, in fairness, I had zero plans on seeing it.
But they wanted you to at least know.
But, I mean, at least, for me to know. But I have some very sad news. The cat star of that movie, who in the movie, his name is Church. But out here in the real world, his name is Leo the cat.
Aww.
Leo the cat has been buried in the pet cemetery.
He passed away unexpectedly.
He'll be back in, is it 2 days or 3? I never read the book.
Oh, does it return? Do the pets come?
Yeah, that's the hook. When you bury something in the cemetery, it comes back. But Nikki, it comes back different. It comes back bad.
So it looks like the domestic total of Pet Sematary, the 2019, is at $54 million at this point.
I think that's pretty good, right?
Its budget was $21 million, but it doesn't give me like a worldwide one, so not sure. Oh no, wait, worldwide $112 million.
Ooh boy. When you see what he looked like in the movie after he came back from the dead,
if you're a cat,
he looks rough, bro.
If you're a cat owner and your cat likes to lick his fur and then it kind of gets gross and matted, that's what it looks like all over. Like kind of a wet cat that's been licked everywhere.
Real talk, they have taken some hilarious photos of this cat for his, here's a picture of him posing next to the Pet Cemetery trailer.
Yes, it does.
Here's him in his on screen, or his chair, like his director's chair from the movie. Yeah. So
it was a Maine Coon cat. I had my cat Butterfinger was a Maine Coon.
That's the breed?
Yeah, the style, the
Maine Coon, M-A-I-N or M-A-N-E?
M-A-I-N-E.
So like Maine, like the state.
Yeah, and then C-O-O-N.
So this is what passes for a raccoon in Maine?
No, it's just that's the breed of the cat. It's very common.
Where did it get its name? Maine Coon.
Well, maybe, okay, let's go back a few years, like back in the olden days. Okay. And if you envision you're out hunting, right? Yeah. And you're like, is that a coon over there? And then they're like, I don't know. We're in Maine. What's here? And then the hunter's like, oh, look, it's a Maine coon. So I see it as that. Do you see it? Like we're there, right?
I love the fact.
Hand me the shotgun, Bobby.
No, we're in Maine. You don't shoot the Maine coons.
Is that the Maine coon that we hunt in this area?
I'll just tell you right now, the "we're in Maine" is my favorite part of
that's where it came
version.
From. That's where it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Pet Sematary, the cat from that is no longer.
Yeah. You know what? It's way more fun to make up where words came from instead of actually finding out.
Isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
The Riot. Not everyone's fan.
I wonder whose idea this was.
RadioU.
Nikki, if I told you that I've got a game that you're going to play through in an hour,
Would
and
I play
it's
through
$9, what do you think?
Is it a mobile game or a console game?
It's a VR game.
Virtual reality game?
So $9 for a 1 hour experience.
It's a little, it depends on it.
Okay.
I mean, that's like buying a movie ticket. It's cheaper than buying a movie ticket, depending on the day.
Okay, took my dad to Godzilla yesterday. $15 a ticket.
But that's a longer experience than an
2
hour.
2 hours and 15 minutes.
So think of it like you're kind of watching half a movie at that point. Yeah, it's not the worst. It'd be fine.
Here's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about, there's a game that hit yesterday called Freediver Triton Down. And it's a VR game in which you are a free diver, which means you don't have scuba gear. So you have to manage your oxygen supply or whatever.
Yeah.
And you end up swimming through a sinking ship trying to escape.
Now, that all sounds fun for virtual reality. This is really fun.
How about this? You know how you swim?
You move your arms?
You move your arms.
You
to
actually
swim.
have to move your arms?
You actually have to
Dude,
move
totally
your arms.
do that.
You think it sounds cool?
Oh, yeah, that does sound cool.
Okay, I was thinking...
We don't free dive a lot, honestly. It's
well,
not
I
our
mean,
thing.
in a pool, but I'm not out on the coast free diving.
And we're never free diving when it comes to like wrecks and stuff. So that would be that's what virtual reality really shines with. You're getting to do an experience or play a game that you've never, had in life.
I think it sounds kind of wild.
It's neat. I'm looking at a clip of it.
I've been eyeballing it for a while, and just the idea of, I think on the one hand, it might be terrifying where you're just like, I'm stuck inside a sinking ship. That sounds scary to me, but it also sounds like very invigorating in kind of a cool way.
Yeah.
So
they were saying how there's been a couple other VR games that have the swim mechanic in it to where
like
you have
move
to
your arms?
Yeah, but with this for Freediver, it has the best of it to date for any other game.
Hey, I just swam here. My arms are really tired.
You're like, what were you doing as freediving? It's fine.
I might give it a shot. Like it looks
You need
pretty
to do
interesting,
that.
doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It looks really great.
And it's kind of like was it like Mission Impossible 5, where Tom Cruise had that little thing on his arm to tell him how much oxygen was left in his blood.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently you have something like that to let you know how you're doing. So
it's short. They do say it is short, but you don't want to swim too long anyways. And not after dinner.
I was going to say,
not after
I'll
food.
need to wait at least an hour after eating before I do any free diving.
And they say that this will probably spin off into other freediver stuff because it's like a first episode in a larger story.
Oh, really?
So
I did not know that.
So think of it that way when it comes to the game. So you're almost like you're investing in Freediver, and $9 is just for the Triton down one, and then there'll be others.
All right. Well, Mike says at least there's no sharks. Good
Correct.
call. Good call, dude.
Correct.
Good call.
Thanks for listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh no! I missed it! Do it again!
You can hear us live every day on the RadioU network through the RadioU app or at riot.radiou.com.
You know me, I just take all the pills.